Hey, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Shareece, and this is Spiritual Sense Information for Your Soul. Today, we're talking about Tia, and I'm really fascinated with the internet's response to Tia's divorce. I think she got divorced maybe a year or 2 years ago. People are really shaming this woman for having a divorce and then having this emotional demonstration online and now on her reality show to ending her marriage. So let's talk about it. So do I really think Tia regrets her divorce? Like wishes she never did it and wants to be back in her marriage? Listen, I am not in this lady's mind, but I will take a guess and say no. I want to say the thing that you all are seeing online, because even last year when she started doing, the TikTok dances and becoming more active on Instagram, I definitely viewed it as, oh, she's not okay, right? She's not okay. I think it's okay to say she's not okay. But being not okay, I don't think means the same thing as regretting getting divorced. I think she's relieved and happy. Happy might not be the right word, but like, I think it fulfills her that she is no longer confined to this marriage. I'm going to talk about some reasons. I'm going to postulate on why I think she doesn't regret the divorce, but what you all are seeing is an emotional response to something else. So I did this video on reasons you should break up with a good black man. I mean, okay, there's a point I wanted to make on the shame that I think so many people are giving towards Tia, especially women, because in America, marriage appears to be this extremely elusive experience thing. And so like when Lori Harvey broke up with Michael B. Jordan, and then with that fine black man, what was his name? Idris something, Damon Idris, something like that. People also, but because she's young, I think it's not, and not married to them, it wasn't that big of a deal. But in that video, I really talked about like, girl, it's okay. Like you don't have to be with a man just because he's good. Compatibility is something that's also very important. But I think what a lot of people are reacting to is this idea that marriage is this rare thing that gets to be experienced, especially by black women. And if you get a decent man, you need to hold on to him no matter what. How dare you walk away when so many of us are out here fighting for our lives to get a decent one, and you just had one for so many years and now you're giving him up. Shame on you. I really think that's the response to Tia. But Tia is going through, I think, what so many women have been through. Once you get into a marriage, you're like, oh, this is a lot of work, right? If you listen to married people, right? I'm doing some videos. I have no idea when they're going to come out on how I'm preparing for marriage. And the idea when you listen to married women talk about marriage and what it's really like dealing with a man, a heterosexual man, with all of his testosterone and masculinity, you'll find that just in general, marriage can be an extremely difficult thing. Now, if you have the belief system that you should suffer, like no matter what, you're going to put up with a lot. You're going to put up with him not working. You're going to put up with drug abuse. You're going to put up with physical abuse. You're just going to put up with a lot of stuff if you believe that, oh my gosh, I have to keep holding on to this no matter what. So there's that idea of why I think so many women are shaming Tia for getting her divorce. But also there's a sort of courage involved in leaving a marriage, right? I don't think anybody gets married to get divorced unless part of it was like a transactional exchange. We get married, I get papers or something like that. We know we're going to get divorced. But people who like love each other, I don't think the setup is I'm going to get divorced and to be happy about getting divorced. So experiencing a divorce is similar to experiencing a death in the family, especially when you've been married for over a decade like Tia and Cory were. But one of the things I noticed about Tia is she's very much a live her life for other people, really trying to please other people. And I don't think she paused to consider if this is what I really wanted. So I have this theory that people who get divorced, either they were never meant to be together, or there was some, spiritual evolution that occurred, big life event that transformed one of the people, and the other person didn't really transform in speedy enough time, right? People, it's very common, at least one or two times, people who've been married for decades, that one person is evolving faster. And it's really about if that person is going to have the patience to help support and love that person that they've been with for years, or if they're going to say, deuces, I don't have time for this, right? I think it's very important for people that know this is my person to be patient during that difficult, rocky part of their marriage. But then, were y'all even supposed to be together, right? And I'm curious about if this is part of Tia's problem. I have no idea. She hasn't really answered questions about why, right? Why did they get divorced? She hasn't really explained why they got divorced. I think it's more of like a feeling of being stifled or not being able to be herself, that it's like she's experimenting now and trying different things now and looking real strange in the I would say she looks real strange in the process. Like, I would say pray for this woman, pray for her healing and her understanding of who she is versus shaming her. So I really encourage women to pause and ask themselves, do I want to get married? Do I want to have kids? Most women do, but I think it's super, super important to ask yourself, like, just to be conscious of, this is the direction I'm going to take my life, because getting married and having kids are very, very big life events that can really change the trajectory of what your life will look like. When it comes to compatibility, right? Because I'm not sure, I don't know how why she picked this one. I don't know. Not to say he's not a good man. I'm not sure of anything, but the way he's presented, very level-headed, lots of masculine energy, working really hard, right? Striving for opportunities. I can see why people are saying he's a good Black man. But we really don't know what this man is like in real life. We have no idea what he's like behind closed doors. We have no idea what their arguments have been like. We just have no idea, like, what his inner workings are like. We just have the one interview I think he did where he glanced over, somebody asked him about his marriage or the ending of it. So there's that. We have no idea what he's like. There's also a lot of things when it goes into compatibility in a long-term relationship. So we have, maybe Tia didn't really consciously pick this person, and then maybe they're not really even compatible. And compatible in what ways? You could watch the video where I talked about Lori Harvey and why I think it's fine that she broke up with those, great Black men. She doesn't have to be, you don't have to be with a guy just because he's a decent human being. Okay. Compatibility is also a very important thing. And so when I'm saying compatibility, I mean things like interests, things like sex, things like your idea of what a marriage should look like, what you want your lifestyle to be like. And then maybe a big one for them was also parenting. If you all are not on the same page about these things, if you all were never really supposed to be together, which I don't know if they were never supposed to be together, but considering that Tia is on her own, evolution into who she is as a person, not just a mom or a wife, it could be that they were never supposed to be together, or, she's going through this like big transformation that she's outgrown her marriage. What if they hadn't had sex in 3 years? Like, y'all don't know what's happening in their relationship. What if she wanted to move and he didn't? What if, she being the breadwinner, making the most money, the lifestyle is dependent on her? What if that is the way it's going, but he also wants to be head of the household and make all the rules? We have no idea. But I can think of so many reasons why a woman would want to end a marriage to a man who on the outside appears to be good or okay. I would encourage everyone to have some compassion for somebody that's going through a transformation like this, for him and for her, because you're going to change. I mean, you're being invited to change and grow and evolve after big life events like this. But let's talk about what emotions you all are seeing displayed by Tia in her Instagram post. I think one of the most recent things, because there's this whole lady, I'm thinking about doing a video on the manosphere again. I don't know, because there's some strange men out there who are going to find the video. But there are also a lot of women who shame women online, right? And so they're shaming because they're not calling in, they're calling out and they're admonishing. They're saying you're stupid. They're not using those words, right? But that's the energy of the message that they're giving. And so I didn't watch the whole video, but I watched part of a video of a woman who also has a similar title about Tia regretting her divorce. And this, I don't know if she used the word spiraling, but I think it would be okay to say Tia is spiraling a little bit. But haven't we all had a difficulty in life where didn't handle it as well as maybe we could have? I don't know. So there are a lot of women online who are looking at the emotional response that Tia is giving and saying, see, this is why you need to be with your man. This is why you should never divorce him, right? And so I just want to invite a different emotional interpretation of what Tia is experiencing. And so because a divorce is sort of like a death, you can think of the grieving process as part of it. And some of the emotions that I wrote that I've seen or observed from Tia when she's making these videos and she's crying on camera is guilt, sadness, uncertainty, confusion, and I think difficulty voicing her feelings. I don't think she communicates them in a good way. Why are you crying on TV? Why did you make this choice to do a reality show? I do think she doesn't have people in her life that she can relate to who've been through a divorce and maybe are transparent about it. But divorce is so common. It's really wild that she didn't seem to have this representation or being able to resonate with somebody who's also gone through this extremely difficult thing when you've been with somebody for over a decade. But the sadness that we're seeing, the guilt at, making this decision that's also going to affect her kids, I don't think is a signal that she wants her marriage back. And maybe she does. But I just want to invite that maybe part of what we're seeing is not that she wants the marriage back, but that she's mourning the end of her marriage. And so there's a lot of feelings to go through. I'm going to guess that, when she was on Instagram, I could see, she's not crying on her Instagram, but I could see tears behind the Instagram dances and the cute little putting on clothes and poses. I could see tears behind it. Not that there's any tears literally in the picture, but that I can see when people have pain in their eyes. And so I see a lot of pain. I'm trying to express myself. I'm trying to be myself. I'm experimenting with some things. I feel uncomfortable doing it, but I'm doing it anyway, which is exactly what I would encourage women to do. Do it anyway. You feel stupid doing it, do it anyway, because it's another experiment on how to be yourself. And most people are not inviting to women in their 40s being themselves or trying out for the first time being themselves when they were accommodating for so long. And, why don't you just put up and shut up because you've been doing it so long and now you have kids? Right, which is why I encourage compassion. But Tia practicing, maybe, experimenting, maybe, spiraling, maybe, all the different ways that she wants to show up as herself, right? I think she's still figuring out, like, who do I want to be, or who am I? How do I want the world to perceive me? Because I've been perceived for so long as a certain way. Even when she did the reality show with her sister, I hear, she was selfish and rude and mean to her sister, all those things. Now it seems like she's really she's like torn between two worlds of, I'm going to be authentically myself. Like when she said, I don't talk to my sister, right? She basically said, I don't really talk to my sister. And then came back and said, oh, no, we're still close. We just live far away. Like she's trying to figure out like who I am, who do I want to be? And so that uncertainty and confusion of, in this now moment, I've made this really big decision in my life. There's no going back. I mean, you could get remarried. People do that, but I don't think she's going to get remarried. I don't think she wants to be in that relationship. I think she knows that man inside and out and is happier without him. So everything that we're seeing in terms of her emotional response online and in her reality show, I think is a personal, like, I was going to say personal problem. I think it's a personal exploration. I think it's personal challenges. I do not think we're witnessing somebody that is going to be begging back my ex-husband. I do not think so. She might, but I really do not think so. I think what we're witnessing is somebody who is building their self-confidence and self-esteem. Should she be dating people on the show? I wouldn't recommend it. I said this in my last video of lessons from Tia. I do not think she should be dating. I don't. I think, what is it? A month for every year you've been married? How long she's married? 14? I think she was with him for 20 years. So let's say that, like 24 months, she shouldn't be dating. And maybe it's already been 2 years, but whatever she was doing was not active growth. I don't think so, because I think it's been 2 years since her divorce. I don't think this lady is in a position to date at this moment. And so I really do that based on if I think they're going to cause damage to the other person, because you'll learn infinitely more in relationship than outside, like as a single person. I just don't think she's taking anybody seriously. I think she might be leading people on. I think she might be using people for entertainment and not in a space where she can actually form a deep connection with someone to then do the work of the mirroring, right? In relationships, they push you, you push them, you all can grow together. I just don't think she's in a place to do that. So, that would be one thing I would encourage her, like, stay away from the men. So I don't think you have a good picker. I don't think you have the self-confidence or the self-esteem to pick somebody who's going to be good for you in the long term. So those are my thoughts on Tia. No, I don't think she regrets the divorce. I think maybe she's mourning 20 years of her life where she invested in this man who maybe wasn't ever compatible with her, and all the repercussions of having made a big decision like marrying him, staying with him for so long, when she probably, like, I can imagine 7 years of not wanting to be in this relationship and her staying. And then now that she's left, right, dealing with, all of y'all's opinions and comments and, raising kids without her husband, having wanted a two-parent household, I'm sure, because that's what most people want. I mean, some people want to have kids on their own, but most people want to raise their kids with the person that they have them with. I am wishing Tia well. Like, I really want her to be happy. I'm very curious, like in another year or two, if we're gonna see, maybe more like what her name is, Joan from Girlfriends. What's her name? She has like she has, I don't know if it's a quiet confidence, because sometimes I wonder about her too, but she, I think, is closer to peace, right? I definitely get a lot of peace behind her eyes when I'm looking at pictures of her, even if she is half naked or all the way naked. I feel like this is a woman that has thought about what she really wants and is doing what she wants. Does she want a relationship? Probably. But there's a different kind of work to do to then be compatible for a long-term relationship. But nevertheless, wishing Tia well. I hope you are one of those people that's sending her love and healing energy versus judging her for making a big decision like this for her life. I think in time, right, in time, that she will demonstrate the kind of peace that I think most people would expect after a divorce that maybe was a long time coming. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Share it with somebody you think it may help. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and thank you for watching.